Alrighty, ready. What is up, everybody? Austin here, and I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit of a story. Now, this story is actually going to be of an interesting time that happened in my life, and well, I will kind of level with you. It's probably a much of a short story, so I don't know. If this story does good, I get if it does well, then I'll upload another one telling another story that happened in my life. Just preferably, I'll pick the topic, of course, but in time, I guess, then I'll start growing on the whole, trusting to tell people about, these times that happen in my, things that happen in my life, so that they can have a little vote on it. But for now, we're gonna talk about the time that I got hit in the face. And, this is the first time that I ever got punched in the face by someone. So it was rather, as you can probably imagine, an interesting experience for me. So how it happened was that, so to actually fill in this little gap of, who the person was, I'm actually just gonna go by the name of Michelle for him. I do believe that can be a name. I have no idea, but Michelle is the name we're gonna go by. So, Michelle was the kind of person who was I have no idea, how to put it into proper words. He would always be that kind of person who would, always have beef with someone, and, he would always get into fights, and, he would always have that, very mean look on his face, and he, in general, was not too nice of a person. So, it made sense that, you can see where I'm getting with this man, not nice person, me talking about the time I got in the face. So, the time that I actually did manage to make this happen was that it was in gym class, and I remember this so well because I was that kind of kid back then when, I don't know, just such a cringy kid. I did anything to try and come off as cool, and I did whatever I thought was cool, and it was just so lame and so cringy. And I use cringy in the term of, if you looked at how I act, you would actually cringe with, I have no idea what to call it. I call it disgust of how such toxic of a little kid I was. And, well, not toxic per se, but I was the kind of kid who, who was so uncool that would try and do anything that he perceived as cool and try to be popular. I just tried too hard. And being an asshole was one of the ways that I thought I could do this. And so I was an asshole to some people, and this was also leading back to the whole series of events of people doing it to me first. So I thought, well, if they're doing it to me first, what's the harm in doing it back? A lot. So what ended up happening was that Michelle, as I think I called him, I was in gym class with him, and annoying people and just being a general asshole was what I perceived as cool. So I'm sitting there and I'm just doing my oddly hardest to try and annoy this kid. At a certain point it actually works, and he actually does the whole threatening, if you keep this up I'm gonna beat you up kind of deal. And so I take that as a joke, being the little dumb shit I am at the time. And so he follows it up with saying that he's going to beat me up after school. So me being the not too fearful little dumb fuck I was, I didn't take that seriously, and I learned I very well better should have, or that got me hit in the face. And so what led up to it was that while walking back home, he didn't live too far from me, so like with my very expert drawing skills, I have come up with a very, very, very detailed little description of where I live and where he lives. So as you can see here, I live right here, and he lives right here. He met me right here on a little area that's supposed to be like a hill, and well, I don't know, like, so what I ended up doing was that when he met me, I ended up taunting him more. I ended up trying to see how far I can push this kid. And so, to the point that, like, when he tries to actually go in for the punch, I actually call in for a dog. Well, how low of a move is that, trying to sick an animal on a person? I wouldn't really do that to my worst enemy. So, anyway, I end up getting hit and being like, I don't know, like, I guess I'm such a big person. Because don't get me wrong, I'm almost 200 pounds. So, I'm not too fat, but I'm getting there. I'm a big person. So, when it comes down to that, especially being that at the time, I think I actually was 200 pounds. I was somewhere around the lines of 220, something like that. And I just go to the ground. I don't know what to think in this moment. I just want the fight to end. I don't want to get in an actual fight. So my immediate reaction is to come off a fake scream, and I just let myself hit the ground. And so, just willing to let this kid do whatever he will to me, and right after that, I'm just laying there, in which case, he actually just bikes away. So, nothing too much happened after that. Later on, I just went back inside to my house, but then I went over to where my mom was. She was right next door, and so I went over there. I told her what happened. My uncle stupidly cheered me on because he is a retard. I'm not really exaggerating with that. And so, yeah, that was pretty much the day. He got yelled at, and from both from my mom and from his mom, they both like what the fuck you doing, like hitting a little kid. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of that story. If you liked it in any sort of way, leave a like and rating and a comment on what you thought on this story. Anyway, guys, yeah, like, comment, subscribe. If you guys want, then more of these kinds of videos will be up in the future. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoy the video, and I also hope you enjoy my video selections in the background of these videos. Those will be in my descriptions. I might be a little bit late with them. Also, you might notice that the entire time this was a black screen, and this is not going to be a normal thing. At a certain point, I will actually make it my face, and I'm sitting there to the camera talking to you guys, telling you these stories. So, for now, it's just going to be the black screen, and I do hope you enjoy. Anyway, guys, I'm Buffalo Child. I'm Austin, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.